of trading. We can always get better. I can always get better. Okay, so let's apply some of this stuff. So one of the first easy lessons we learned that we'll apply. So we followed this silly ES from up here. Throughout the week, we did swings. So one of the first things we will do is just, what's the size of the swing? It's that easy. Oh, look. Same size. This is what's known as, one of the lessons, a continued behavior. It's doing it until it's not doing it anymore. And, you know, if you can do this, you can also draw median lines easy enough. So this was the first lesson. So we have an idea that the market has got some kind of agenda in mind. I'm giving you my thinking based on the lessons we've taught. And if you're new, you probably haven't heard me spiel all the way about this for hours. But a lot of people here have drilled it in. But it's continued behavior. It's some kind of organized behavior. That's what they're doing. You know, period, the end. They're doing this. And so as we get into this morning, well, we can also do, remember the instructions? We can also do minors. So we're following the major, and this was an immediate lesson. We're following the major. And let me also see if I can get across this experience to you, because this doesn't always come across. It's hard to transmit this unless you've been around for a little while. My experience when I'm doing this isn't tense. I'm following them rather than I'm predicting them. So right away, I'm looking at the market, doing my work. I'm a bit relaxed, which is very important. Why? Because I'm tuned in to following them, not forcing them to do what I want them to do. I might have an opinion, but I need to set myself aside. So right away, that's the first part. Yeah, it's sort of a roadmap, and it's very simple, you know. It's not coming out here and doing this, or doing this, or drawing. No, it's very, boom, chart ripped. Okay, this is what it's doing. And so I'm following. I don't know. This is all. I don't know what it will do. I know we're about the length of the minor, and price is trying. So, you know, I do my work. You know, I'm watching it. Okay, it doesn't make a new low. It's still trying. All right, we make a new low. So, you know, I keep following the minors and the majors. That's all. I'm following. I'm getting a handle. I'm getting a read. This is not a system. Notice I say I'm getting a read. Okay, are we going to go the length of that guy? Yeah. Are we turning? Are we going to make a new low? No. Okay. You know, there's a few little details. You know, you see the tail. See, this is our, right here, this is one of our lessons, by the way. This is one of our lessons about the pivot components on a bar level. So I can see a pivot's being made. Let me find the chart here real quick. I can see a pivot's being made somehow. And I have a pivot requirement, which shows me, you know, supply demand. And it's basically some sort of swap of a tail and outside bar gap on the left, tail outside bar gap on the right. You see tail, gap, that's a swap. Showing me a swap in there. I have another pivot requirement chart that we made. And by the way, when we make these lessons, right, when we do these lessons, I build them out live so we can all learn as we go. And that's part of the structure of what we've been doing also. So rather than just say, here, do this, we build it out live and talk about it. So this was one we worked on. You can see I have a tail and a gap on the right. So immediately I could see my lessons. And, if I'm paying attention live down here, I can see, oh, gap, tail, swap. That's a pivot. Okay, we've beaten the red. Now I go like this. What are we going to do here? Now here's the practical side of trading and what I'm thinking. I mean, what are you guys wondering here? Anybody? If you're watching this market with me live this morning, okay, just what are you wondering about now? Practical-wise, for actual rolling around in the mud trading. Is it going to make a new major, right? Is it going to keep continuing in this fashion? Or is it going to change? We don't know. So I asked myself, what would be a clue for me knowing that it is going to change? Anybody? And I'm trying to apply our lessons that you can be watching. Now, you might not be able to keep up with it all in real time, especially if you've just gotten the lesson. But that's why I'm here also. Okay, Pete said, yeah, if blue gets beat, we know it changed. But what if we want to go with blue, Pete? That's what I'm wondering right off the bat. I'm not wondering about change right off the bat. It'll tell me if it changes. I want to know what's going to tell me if it continues. See, I'm not sitting here saying the market's too far down and picking bottoms. I'll leave that to other people. So I'm asking myself, what lessons have I taught that I can apply myself? Everything I teach, I do myself. What lessons can I apply here? And I'm also thinking, and I think of you guys while I'm trading too, I'm also thinking, all right, will somebody who I've taught these things to be able to see this if they were tuned in? So I'm watching that. I watch and see if I can improve my teaching on that a little bit. So I'm thinking if it continues, what will tell me I can get a trade with the continue? If it doesn't continue, okay, then I can start thinking about maybe the other way. If the gap down holds, let's look at it this way, Raj. If price is going to, so I'm just trying to get you all in my head here. If price is going to keep continuing, which it's doing, doesn't it at some point, somewhere near here, going to have to show me something? Yeah, it needs a pivot, right? And so I got two ways to go about this now. So this way, not only am I following price, I can get on a bar level and I can follow the buyers and sellers on a bar level. See, I've already got a pivot here. Will there be a pivot here? Well, we just did a wash and rinse lesson, and we have our bar lessons, and we have, maybe there'll be a minor swing in here lesson. Right? See, there's all sorts of ways for price to tell me it's going to turn rather than me saying I've got the magic. Does that make sense? And the person who asked the question, if you got more questions from that, just let me know. See, I can draw a median line, okay? That's easy. And what do you think the median line is telling me? A median line takes the A to B pivot and projects it from C. And it's saying, well, that's the median line. And just as Grace and everybody else mentioned, if we zoom through, well, maybe there's a trade to the other side. And then we can also consider What happens if we expand? That's another lesson, but let's keep this one simple. We'll look at this expansion in some other markets that we've looked at just for learning purposes. So you're watching it live, and notice I'm following price. Okay, I notice I can get long maybe on the little swing, but I'm following. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it's going to offer me. So I watch, and I see it's hard up. Okay. Outside bar. See, what I'm doing when I teach these lessons, I'm teaching you to see these things in process. So while you're here, without knowing what's over here, see, process is one of the principles that goes through everything I do. So while you're here, you don't know, but you can be set up watching the process, like this exact one right here. You can watch the process. Just like a mountain has a process. First it gaps up, and then it has to hit if it's going to be a mountain. And here I'm marking the, how do we mark outside bars? Well, we're just going to mark like that. And so right away, I know, well, look, the market's going up. If this outside bar, this effort down and rip their heads off, gets swapped, that's at least one indication that price is turning right around here. I don't have to I got a median line. I don't care about tests on it gets a little sloppy sometimes, right? You have to, watch it. You have to watch what they are doing via the line, via the swing, via price. It's them. So notice I'm building up a whole thing to try and get you to see what I'm seeing. I'm following them. Right now, I ain't touching this thing. I mean, it's going up. I'm kind of sad I ain't long. But, I check myself. What's price doing? Boom, boom, boom. Why shouldn't it keep doing that? I had a student I taught this kind of thing to. And, the markets were really flowing at the time. And we set him up a thing, and he started just, you know what, as long as it's going, he is going to hit every single one. And he did, too. And when it changes, he's going to get stopped. And then he's going to hit every single one. He did pretty good in the I think it was the oil he was trading at the time. Think about that little lesson with the yen we're watching. One of them's going to give on you, and you'll get stopped, and that's how you know. It's a very simple thing. So we watch. All right. Let me ask you, let me apply another lesson here we did on Friday. Can you see the possible process, the stacking, the MPL, of a wash and rinse possibly creating a pivot? Can you look and see? Look at them stacked in here. Look at them stacked. Look at this sell. Can you viscerally feel the sellers hitting at this level? Boom, boom, boom. And then look at the bar that goes through it. Okay? Look at the bar that goes through that level. This is a serious level of sellers. And this is another way. Yeah, you see, this is another way you can take that lesson directly and say, that's interesting. We come back through that. Maybe I have something of a pivot up here. So we watch. Price is going up. The facts check. I'm not predicting. That's the difference in this particular trade I'm doing. I'm not all that nervous. I'm not predicting. Well, I'm a little antsy because, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. But you know what? I'm not going to cry in my soup if price keeps going and I want it to go down. Do you guys get that? I'm kind of thinking it's going to turn. But we say, oh, don't have a bias. I'm kind of thinking it's going to turn. It's there, guys. I admit it. It's honest. But I'm not going to force it, no matter what I think, because it doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about my line. It doesn't care about my little wash and rinse. None of that. It does not care. So I want price to show me. I have an outside bar. I have a gap. Now, price doesn't always give you the exact thing, but it fits this exact model. And by the way, like I said, we build these out live and talk about them. We'll probably do them all over again. And I posted these charts in the reference charts. See, this fits. Look, outside bar, gap. Doesn't have to retest, but that's the typical entry. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, yeah, anybody who's been in the recent lessons, who have seen the pivot components, or at least seen the wash, should have an idea that price is thinking about turning right about there and right about at the median line. Now I'm going to include, and not everybody has been in here for this, but I actually did a blog post on this, on some of the things that price does. So let's get rid of this line for a minute. And it helps to draw these out. It helps you to understand. It helps for you to draw. But I've actually did a blog post on this where we have a swing, okay? And then we have a minor swing. Let's set this up like so. And then price comes up through washing the minor. And we call this minor into major. See, we're breaking the minor, and the minor's actually creating, see the red minors? The minor's actually creating the pivot component for the major. So everybody get that? Let me see if I got the slide we made. So this is another way you can see it in your mind. See, this is the slide we made, and I did a blog post on this. So basically, and you'll see, can you triangulate 0, 1, 2, 3? I'm sure you can, Michael. I'm sure you can. We're not going to go that far now. This is, say, a big, nice, spread out framework to think about that I just simply call minor into major. And if you practice with the things I've been teaching about major and minor swings, you'll start to get this in your experience that this happens quite often. You get one major, you get one minor, you get one major. It's pretty prevalent. It busts this guy up here. See, here I've labeled it into steps. This is an old slide. You can, I think this is what Michael was talking about. You can use this pivot to project that one. You can use that pivot to project that one. And that just has to do with expanding markets. And you'll see this in, I don't know, you've seen this in Andrew's course where I've pointed it out. I think I got a slide of that too. See, there's lots of little lessons. See, Andrew, see it hitting the outer parallel? See it, the little swing? So imagine that this, he doesn't show the rest of the chart, but I want you guys to get this. It's just another little lesson. So imagine price had swung. No, that's not a good one. Imagine price had swung, okay, like that. And, you know, you take that major leg and you break that minor. Do you see the minor getting washed here, guys? And do you see this particular median line? Capturing the expansion. Okay, it's just another little lesson, but I don't want to confuse it with all of the lessons. But our tools are built to help us see these things, as Michael was saying. Our tools are built to help us see these things one way or the other, because it captures the expansion of the minor swing. A lot of little, but we'll keep it simple here, Grace. I'm including some of the median line tools, but this is all you need, right? Boom, pivot components. Okay, you know, I draw a line. I look, you know, I check out, you know, my volatility. You know, I'm basically going to, you know, double that. I'm going to think, all right, can I get above the pivot here, the effort here? Yeah, I can do that. Does it give me a 3-to-1? Yeah, it gives me a 3-to-1. Notice I'm not predicting market. And if I'm wrong, I'm not guessing. Okay? I'm not guessing. And it's the exact lessons. It's this little guy plus this little guy. 2 things. That's it. I just added stuff. 2 things. This guy will happen to give you a target. Things, see gap, things tend to retest, not always. Don't get scared. You don't scare me. Don't get scared. Make a plan. You got a plan. You have a stop. Don't get scared. If you were too scared here, maybe this is another chance. And so then this is not a surprise, is it? We're going down like that. And so that was just a very simple lesson with some of my thinking, which was really just, I wasn't thinking about all these little things I mentioned. It was just, okay, there's the pivot component, and we're about at this size swing. So hot, right? So simple too, isn't it, Mike? Like, all right, we're doing that. Why fight it? I don't care about what's going on in the news. I'm just watching markets. That's it. They all line up that perfect? No, but you see, Price told me it would. Price said, hey, you, wake up. Time to do a trade. Look cool. Now, you see, I show you this, but I want you to notice it has nothing to do with my special talents, because I'm slow. It has nothing to do that I haven't taught that anybody here can't do. You might not have put it together. You might have been clogged up. You might have been thinking other things. But it was nothing you couldn't piece together a couple of the lessons and at least see and learn whether you pulled the trigger or not. You know, pulling the trigger, that's a whole other story. I understand that. And so I'm thinking, yes, you can take these lessons. It's directly applicable from last week right here and trade the ES. And you made good money. You really don't have to do much more after that. You did pretty good. You can trail it if you want to, you know. It really doesn't matter. If you feel like trailing it, trail it. But, prices swing. This line seems to capture things pretty good. So, you just keep running the line. This is what price is doing until it's not doing it. Okay, it's doing something different now. And then you move on from there. But it's the end of the day. It's over. It's done. History. But, you keep watching. And you don't get too caught up. Are all trades that easy? No, they're not all that easy. But, sometimes the lessons just pop right out. Do they all offer a nice entry? No, they don't all offer a nice entry. Let's take one more market we drew a median line set on so you can see what happened. Here, I left it. This is what we drew on. See, notice how I drew particular median line set. We did this Friday. Didn't know what price was going to do. Now you get to see how price can expand. And what did it expand into? This guy. Right around there. Gives you a gap. Little bitty outside bar. But, it doesn't really give you a retest or anything. Sorry. I don't know what. Can't really help you there. But, that's part of the learning.